Are you guys ready for the full conversation with Bobby Bass Waters, the man behind this awesome arrangement of Hoist the Colors that is everywhere right now? Before we get into it, check out some of my favorite moments from Bobby's amazing career as a bass singer. Mason, roll it.
Hoist the colors high. Well, Alibaba had them 40 thieves, Scheherazade had 1,000 tales. Well, master, you in Lanka's up your sleeve, you got a brand of magic never fails. Of mighty kings in Nargoth, Rond and Gondolin, who now beyond. Knock, knock, I am at your door now, I am coming in, no need for me to ask permission.
What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way, hey, up she rises, way, hey, up she rises, way, hey, up she rises, early in the morning.
Hello, everyone, wherever you are watching or listening from. I'm here with the great Bobby Bass, and I'm going to pass it over to him and allow him to introduce himself real quick for those that don't know who he is.
So I am Bobby Bass, also known as Bobby Waters, which is my real name. Bass isn't my last name, if that's a surprise to you. But I am an online music creator. I got my start on TikTok and kind of blew up from there doing all these bass duets and stuff like that. And I started doing my own covers, collaborating with new people. And as my socials began to skyrocket, I found myself involved and in the creation of groups like the Wellermen and the Bass Gang, and later on joined Pitch Slapped at Berkeley. And so right now my life is consisting of music, and music, full time, baby.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
man. It's really not many people can make music work as a full-time gig. You know, it's a hobby for so many people, and especially going down a track that you've gone where there's no really formal institution that you're kind of joining. It's all just creating and collaborating and basically making things out of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's like, funnily enough, people ask me, like, what'd you study in college? I was a computer science major. And near the end of my career, I think the COVID pandemic happened like at the tail end of my junior year. So that's kind of when I started TikTok. So as I was approaching graduating, I was like, well, I really like this music stuff, but like, how viable is this going to be in like a career sense? So I had kind of two paths, comp sci path and the music path. And luckily for me, I could just tell I wasn't into the computer science path at that moment. So I was like, let's see if this music thing, like I just got out of college, let's see if we can make it work if I like put full time into it, not with like studying and stuff like that, my full effort into this. And it worked out so far. So
Yeah,
I'm
at
happy.
what point in that kind of switch of trajectory were you like, you know what? I think I can actually make this happen.
Oh boy. Probably when I started oh, that's a good question. It like monetarily, probably when I started getting like money from like collaborating with like Melinda and 10 West with the Wellerman, I was like, this might be able to make a living off of this. And so with those projects and some of like the opportunities, like I did last April, I did an Apple commercial, and that was super crazy. So that was definitely one of those moments where I was like, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. But yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, I figured, even though I'm sure it was really exciting when some of your socials started blowing up, you probably weren't like, oh yeah, this is how I'm going to make all my money. Because I know it's really,
No, yeah.
real. Like, you have to be the viewership you have to be getting, especially on a platform like TikTok, to make actual living money is absurd.
Mm-hmm. No, it's been like, funny enough, the TikTok pays the least out of all of that stuff. So I usually have to rely on all these other sources like YouTube or Spotify or streaming like that.
Yeah.
But everyone will tell you, don't just become like a TikTok star artists. That's not where like you make a living. You make a
Right.
living based off all these other like
Yeah.
areas of music and streaming and stuff like that.
And mind you, people, this is coming from someone who has what, 1.8 million followers on TikTok.
Yeah, just past 1.8 like a couple days ago. Yeah, checking that number.
Absolutely insane. I figure maybe someone like Lauren Paley might be able to make a living with 10 million,
Mm-hmm. No,
maybe.
yeah, she's crazy. She has like blew up everywhere. Facebook, YouTube. I think she has a diamond thing on YouTube or a gold plate,
Oh,
but
that's right.
she's
She's got, yeah, she's
crazy.
got
Yeah.
at least a million subscribers on YouTube as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
wild to be that
Mhm.
big on all the platforms.
I don't know how she was. I mean, obviously she's incredible, but
Yeah.
subconsciously she's a marketing genius.
She must be. I was just thinking about kind of where we were in life the last time we chatted, which is such a funny thing to
Yeah.
think about because that was right. That must have, that was probably right after we did our Avi Kaplan cover together, the first thing we ever did together.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, right when I started the podcast, like the very early phases of the podcast. And I think at that point, you had only had like one or two big videos on TikTok. It was before the sea shanties, pre
Yeah.
sea shanties. So I think you had like 200,000 followers on TikTok. The Bass Gang hadn't formed yet.
No,
The
Wellerman didn't
Wellerman hadn't
exist.
formed yet.
Just
Like
you and I.
it was just you and me. And I mean, that was, I want to say like 2.5 years ago or so. So
Oh yeah, 2021, I think.
it is crazy how far things can go in just 2.5 years. Like imagine a full decade, from when we first started working together. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows where we'll be?
So,
But
you know what?
like
8 years, we'll do another podcast. Then we'll have the
it's
decade one.
exactly. So what's this journey kind of been like for you to go from I'm just going to TikTok for fun to like, oh, this is now my full-time job and this is probably going to be my job in some form. Like what you're doing might change, but like music is what you're doing with your life.
Hmm. I think it first started transitioning once I got out of college because I did have a side job. I was an archery instructor. I probably mentioned this last time we were
I think
talking,
so, yeah.
but not like we've talked since then. But I actually recently started like taking like a couple months ago started taking a step back from I was doing like the marketing for that as well, and I was only doing some classes here and there, but now I'm kind of just fully doing music. So it started the Wellerman and some of the early collabs that I did like once I got out of college kind of helped. But then once it kind of hit that like summer, I think it was summer. Oof, no, it was the summer. It was summer 2021 after I graduated in the spring. That's when I like started collaborating with Melinda and doing all that stuff. That's when we were like full in the middle of like recording the Wellerman album. It was probably almost done by that point. I'm trying to remember when it actually came out, but after the first album came out and I started getting more of these collaborations, the Bass Gang started popping off, Wellerman started popping off, my own stuff, very very pre Hoist the Colors, which I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But but essentially it just kind of just kept growing and growing for me more like linear, and then there would just be these kind of like spikes like when I made like Drunken Sailor with Melinda or Hoist or the Wellerman song blew up, and it would just kind of just bounce off from there and can just propel me forward in a way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been my experience since then. There haven't been really any peaks that went like super low for me, music career wise. I've kind of always kept busy, and it's just been getting busier and busier,
Yeah.
as I'm sure you know.
Yeah, that's the trick about going viral is just going viral is not enough. You need to be able to keep putting out content of the same quality of the thing that went viral. So sometimes people will have a moment on TikTok where there's no plan, but they just post a TikTok video. They get basically a huge following overnight, but then they have nothing else to follow up with, which is so
Yeah,
different in music when like you have your strengths, you've got, especially the bass singing is what you're defined as, and you can make a million more high quality bass singer, covers or performances. So it's like you get that viral thing, and then you can keep making things that people really love.
Yeah.
And so instead of you just going like this and then flatlining, it's like you just find the new peak. So you get
Hmm.
these big propulsions forward, and then you just keep going. It's like
Yeah.
it's linear unless it's a big blow up, and then it just goes back to being linear, which is
Yeah.
the
It's
best.
crazy how that works.
That's the best thing you can hope for, really.
Hmm. And especially if you're able to like hop on trends that work well with what you do, especially like me starting out duetting Melinda when the sea shanty craze started going off. That just definitely propelled us. It was very mutually beneficial to both of us doing tons and tons of sea shanty songs because a lot of people can never get enough of those.
Yeah, I mean, they're still popping off, which I
Mhm.
guess which I guess brings us to the Hoist,
Yes.
which was already a really successful release when you put it out. It was doing extremely well, but then now it's just gotten this enormous second wind, um,
Yeah.
especially on streaming, right? I mean, streaming, it seems like it's going particularly crazy.
Yes. I don't usually check the analytics of most platforms, but I always look at Spotify. It makes it very easy with the artist app, and it gets very specific in there. So I've been able to track how it's been doing for I will technically since it's come out.
Mhm.
Seeing that progression gives you a nice little line graph just going the North Sea stuff blew up, which we were all very very happy about. And I think even later today we're all having a meeting about what to do next with the song because we might do some other stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Also, it's because I miss every trend because it's not my sphere. But what is all the North Sea stuff, and why did that contribute to What's the Colors?
Yeah, so I think right now it's like late January. I think late November was when these North Sea videos started popping up. And I think I found out recently where the North Sea was. I think it's kind of like east of England, east of the UK, kind of like that upper like sea area.
That sounds right.
And so people just found a bunch of these videos of these giant tanker ships in the treacherous North Sea. If you see I mean, those waves are scary. Like,
Yeah.
you won't catch me out there.
No.
Someone's like, film a music video out there. I was like, have you? They literally show you the videos of why not to do this. And people just started adding videos of like boats, videos of just like the open sea, oil tankers, battleships, all on the ocean. And for some reason, uh, my song "Hoist the Colors," which came out probably at least a year before that, um, people started latching it on. One person added the sound because you can just add the sound on TikTok and it will play over the video. And that video did amazing. And then so more people started making these North Sea videos, adding the sound to it, and it just kept going up and up and up. The way that it kind of works on TikTok is that when you've got like this viral sound going and you start adding and you like add videos to it, the more you add, a bunch of videos are kind of bouncing off each other uh algorithm wise, and they just kind of keep like boosting each other's numbers. It kind of works like the duets that I usually do on TikTok. Like if the original video is doing well and I duet it, it's most likely going to do really well as long as it's blowing up at that time.
Hmm.
um so it's kind of easy to see trends like that, but the North Sea trend just like blew everything I previously did out of proportion. Like I think the hashtag has over almost 3 billion views right now, which is it's a lot of watch time.
My
Um
God.
yeah, and I checked the sound. I checked yesterday. My sound's still trending. It's I think number 7 trending sound on TikTok. It's almost two and a almost I think 250,000 videos have used the sound almost,
Oh
which
my
is
dude, that is
crazy.
crazy.
Yes, and I am half of it. No, but people have started kind of like spread branching out since then. adding the sound to not just North Sea videos, because it's a lot of people find the sound scary. So like
Yeah.
on some of the scary videos that people post on, like what not to do in the dark, and then they add the song in, and it just keeps going up from there. But yeah,
It's
that's been my experience with the North Sea.
absolutely crazy. It's been interesting, especially seeing someone like Big Brev who hasn't really released his own music on Spotify yet, but because of Hoist the Colors has like hundreds of thousands of monthly listeners.
Hmm. I think it's so funny because before Danny just had like you, and if y'all don't know, Danny's an amazing opera singer, Big Brev. That was the only thing he had on his Spotify. So he had he had all these like opera songs and arias, and then he had Hoist the Colors. Which he was actually asking. He's like, should I make two separate Spotifys for that? And we're like, nah, you should just keep it on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So how many listens is it pulling in a day about at this point?
Let's find out. For the past month, maybe it's been over 100,000 streams on Spotify a day. So yesterday, for
Man,
instance, oh, on Spotify it just hit 12.5 million streams. Yay.
that's like a
Um,
million in the last week.
yeah. In the past, let's see, in the past in the past 28 days, Hoist the Colors got 3 million streams.
Dude, that
And
is like that's
yeah.
almost that's it's not quite like super commercial music level, but it's close.
Hmm.
Like that is
Yeah.
close to like radio music, that level of plays.
I can imagine Taylor Swift coming on Noah Khan, and then this sea shanty song just popping up. That'd throw everyone for a loop. That'd be funny.
Isn't that the dream to somehow get a weird bass song on pop radio?
Oh, for real. I think that's my life goal at this point. That's my
Honestly.
next objective.
Yes. How do we do that? Well, some of the stuff I've been making for myself and I've been making for the bass gang for this year, which I won't reveal, no secrets revealed at this point, but it's much more conducive to like pop music, I suppose, where it's like a lot of samples, a lot of like electronic stuff, and then and then of course with a lot of vocal layering in addition to it. Um, but it kind of bridges the gap between like pop music and this like crazy, very niche bass genre. So I'm very interested to see how some of those songs will do. We'll know in a year from now.
We shall.
Um, Also just like Bass Gang, I'm really excited about for this year. We've got all of 2024 planned out. We've got a new song coming out in just a few days as we record this. Um, Tell me your thoughts on the Bass Gang. Are you pumped to see where the group is headed this year?
Yeah, this I kind of think was our first year where we've kind of planned everything out at the beginning. We had this big, like several hour long meeting of what to do, because we're great at procrastinating, and we're great at like getting right up to the time limit on all these things. So yeah.
Despite busting ass, we
Hmm.
do
Yeah, it's
always
not like we're lazy. We're
yeah,
working hard. Yeah.
but yeah, we do always push up against the deadlines. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's I was listening to some of the old stuff, like the old, I guess technically like a couple months after we had our first call, the stuff we started working on, the first EP,
Hmm.
shout out Billie Eilish.
Yo.
And just looking at those videos and just where we've and then looking at like the last EP that we did, it's crazy difference.
Yeah.
And Czech trip on its own was so much fun. But it's it's been so nice to kind of work with y'all over the years and see all this like positive growth. Just kind of starting from like we eventually, after the first EP, started our own channel, started outsourcing like production stuff so we can focus on the creative aspects of our group, which was a big thing, because a lot of people don't realize that first EP we did everything. It included like the video editing. I think actually I was the only one who didn't do the video editing. Nicole did that one for me. So we
Shut
did
up.
editing, mixing, mastering, the all the production stuff. So now that we're actually like a group now and getting like views and revenue from this, we can put that towards our next projects, making them bigger and better, and having more collaborators on it and stuff like that. So just seeing all this positive growth for the group, has been amazing. It's
Yeah.
been really cool, and I didn't think we'd be able to like get this far with an online group. We were like the Wellermen and the Bass Gang. Like there weren't many online groups before that because COVID hadn't happened, so most people just did stuff in person. So
Right.
that kind of pushed us to get creative and green screens. I can see yours in the background. You can see mine in the background. That's
Always,
where the
always ready.
magic happens. But it's been amazing just seeing the growth and how widespread the bass gang is now, and like seeing all these fans just loving the stuff that we do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see so much potential for the group. It's like for the bass gang, um, it's different in your solo uh trajectory, and it's a little different from the Wellerman in that you and the Wellerman have had some of those nice big jumps, right? You've got the linear growth, but then you've got the things that blow up, the sea
Yeah.
shanty here and there or whatever. And the bass gang's very much just been
Hmm.
so we're
Linear,
we're
yeah.
still we're still kind of waiting. We're still kind of waiting for our
Waiting for that
first.
one.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, like, if you go on our channel, even the first videos are still fun and enjoyable, but the quality since then's gone up so much. So as soon as one goes off, people will discover like 15 more music videos that are all quite good. Like all I would
Yeah.
still be happy to share with people. And so we're just kind of waiting for that first one to really kick it.
Yeah. Sprinkle a little viral magic on one of these videos.
Yeah,
And
well, the one coming out in a few days,
mm,
it has a lot of potential for some viral magic, so we'll see.
oh yeah. I listened to that for the first time. Like I was like, but after like the first mix, I was like, okay, let's hear this. Put on my headphones. I was like, oh boy, this is nice. This is nice.
Yeah, I
It's
wonder.
it's great.
I wonder if maybe we could talk about this in our meeting, like how Hoist the Colors has become a sound that everyone uses. I wonder if we could somehow like micro influence a trend for people to start using
Hmm.
the Viking theme song sound,
Yeah.
our version of it. It'd be worth trying.
Yeah. Because honestly, what TikTok, even though it doesn't like can't make a living off it, TikTok is great at having stuff blow up and sometimes drawing that to other places. That's what happened when like we made the first Hoist the Colors, like the duet chain, not even the song. We made the song based off of that duet chain, and it blew up kind of because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of tricky trying to find these ways of manipulating the algorithm, just sliding yourself in there so you can kind of get those viral moments. But it is a fickle thing,
Yeah.
TikTok and these apps. But I think we can do it. We're smart folk.
We're smart folk. Yeah, it is. It's tough to predict what's going to do well. But I was just thinking how you've got like footage of these ships on the sea with Hoist the Colors. There's got to be like something up in Scandinavia, some footage from Scandinavia, like the fjords or something, that with like the Viking song that could be really cool.
Yeah,
We'll
like a
have
raging river or bears fighting each other. I don't
yeah,
know. Yeah.
exactly. So we'll see, man. We'll
Casper, write
see.
that down.
Casper, are you listening right now? Um, so we've got that song coming out. We've got you're doing a song for us coming up in
Hmm.
just a couple months. Guess we probably shouldn't reveal any of it, but y'all are gonna
Yeah.
love it.
We're
Shanty
keeping them
vibes.
anticipated.
And then also, I mean, everything we're doing for the next EP has tons of potential for major blow ups.
Hmm.
Between the collaborators and just the song choices could
I
be could be
yeah.
really interesting.
I have a feeling a lot of people are gonna a lot of fans of us are gonna really enjoy this EP. And
Yeah,
based on how it's looking so far, it's gonna be another bop.
that's gonna
We're
be
very
it's gonna be a
excited.
bop. Yeah. I think 2024 is our year. I really do.
Yeah,
I
there
think
we
some
go.
things are gonna pop off big time.
Fingers crossed. We got this. We got this. 2023, it's in the past. 2024 is now. There we
You
go.
heard it here. You heard it here. Do you have any solo projects coming up?
Yeah, kind of one of the things that I've been wanting to do this year is because a lot of my TikTok career has kind of been duetting all these other videos and with varying production differences, but now I kind of wanted to focus on doing kind of my own stuff. I kind of started out with I released it I think I released it New Year's Eve. It was called Once Upon a December. It was like a little bit longer than a minute, like short cover, like of me singing a song bassified. And I
Okay.
wanted to do more of those covers of it can be from any genre, like short minute covers of these of just me singing a song like bass wise. And it's kind of been helping my production skills a little bit more as well, kind of making the background instrumental, coming up with all these sounds and creative ideas for the song, then obviously recording it an octave or seven lower. Um,
Naturally.
so I have this whole list and I've started putting together kind of like not necessarily a schedule, but I've started multiple projects at one time, because if I post these all over socials and one of them does really well and people want to hear a full cover of it, then I'll make a full cover of it. I have the session and I can just kind of work off of that. And so that's kind of been my plan for this year. And I was also considering doing a Halloween and or Christmas EP,
Hmm.
because I've never I've released singles like Oh Death, Grinch, Hoist, but I've never like released like an EP that wasn't like me connected to a group, for instance the Bass Gang or the Wellermen. So I kind of wanted to challenge myself and start very early, because I always start these things too late. A lot of people don't realize how early you have to start Christmas music to release Christmas music. Um, but yeah, that's for that's essentially my plan for this year. We'll see how it goes, but if I manage to get that stuff done, then yeah, that'd be very exciting.
Cool. Cool, cool. How do you deal with creative block if you're just if or do you ever experience that when you're really just not feeling inspired to make music?
Ooh. Yeah, it's especially since this is now my full-time job. I've been doing music a lot, like just for the past couple days, I've been getting up and recording for like 6 hours straight. And it can get very tiring. Last night, literally, I got downstairs and I was like, okay, time to comp this, time to edit this a little. And I was looking at it, I was like, I can't do this right now. I can't do I'll do this tomorrow. But so it definitely gets tiring when it's like the only thing you're doing. Like I'm sure you know that a little more than me, having this full-time opera job as well as content creator. I don't know how you do it, man. But it's usually there's more than one project I'm working on at one point. So if I'm ever getting tired, like with the creative aspects or with the recording aspects of one song, I always have something else to do. So I can always draw my energy somewhere else. And if I don't feel like doing music, or I don't feel like recording anything for the day, maybe I'll just get on my computer and do a bunch of like content stuff, schedule posts on Facebook, prepare stuff for my Patreon. But no, there's usually enough to do. And if I'm just like not feeling it at all, I'll just like take a break, maybe watch something. But
Yeah,
it can be annoying at times, especially when you have to get stuff done. But you got to do what you got to do. If it's kind of like if you're only doing this and it's kind of like your health is declining a little bit and stuff, especially your mental health, then everyone needs a break. So
yeah, for
that's kind
sure.
of how I view it.
I feel that big time. Yeah, currently, like I said, there's these periods. It's always really busy. Like you're talking about, you're always making projects. always collaborating with people, and then you have to do the Patreon engagement and the Discord and all the rest that goes with it. But then there are these moments where things, get even crazier. For me, it's generally when I have a lot of projects that are happening at the same time as an opera production. There's just no way around it. I mean, like Sunday we had, because I'm single cast, got to the theater like 11 a.m. for makeup, full run of the show, dinner break, full run of the show with the other cast. So it's just
It's a lot.
yeah. And then I'm gonna get up after all that the next morning and then like shoot content. It's like that's what I'm up against at the moment. And I was definitely feeling it last night. I just during this run of the show, even with all the costumes and everything, and we're in this big, amazing opera house for this production, big, big, amazing opera house. I'm still just
Mhm.
like, I was just like completely dead inside.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't imagine. That is crazy. Was that the I saw pictures in that crazy makeup and the wig.
Yes,
That was
yes.
that?
That's
Oh
Don
boy.
Basilio in The Barber of Seville, and it's a really fun comic character, and I'm playing it very fabulously because that's how the director wants me to do it, and very flamboyantly, and it's a blast, and like the makeup is hilarious and cool. But when you've been doing it for like 4 weeks, twice as much as most of the other people in the cast, because you're single cast, it's like the comedic bits are not so funny anymore, and you're just kind of like forcing your way through it. That all, of course,
Oh
changes when a
boy.
when a big audience is there. That all changes, right? We,
Yeah.
we get to opening night, and it will be extremely fun and rewarding and all that. But like the end of the rehearsal process can be pretty brutal.
Yeah. I haven't done like I guess the only like live show that I've done was with the Wellermen, and that was big, like preparing that, especially
Mhm.
with like recording an entire second album within the same week.
Yeah,
But with opera, that's, oh boy, there's so many different things that go into that. I can't imagine.
it's a whole thing.
Stone Demon. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be nice when I mean we'll have a nice break between weekends of performances, and I've already got plans with some people in the cast to go up to Sedona for a couple days, and we're
Ooh,
just gonna like hike and hot tub and cook and hang out. So that's gonna be super, super nice.
I'm sure you're looking forward to that. That sounds amazing. I could
Yeah,
use a hot tub right now.
I
That'd be
know.
nice.
The idea of like beer in hot tub, what with a like a nice vista of the Red Rocks,
Yeah.
that is that's gotta propel me forward.
You know what actually is funny? You reminded me that I think I have with me. Give me one sec.
Okay.
You're gonna laugh. Do you remember this?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Saving it for next time.
Saving it for next time. Dude,
Oh
that
boy.
was that was such a fun day.
That was I mean, what's not fun about having like 3 beers for breakfast? That
Yeah,
was
it was
that was great.
incredible. So for context, this is during our base gang trip to the Czech Republic, and Tommy's a cappella group Shot C, that was featuring Casper that day as well. They were performing at this little music festival, and Bobby and I were just off the clock and had coupons to eat giant bratwursts and beer all day, and we did exactly that.
It was incredible. And they gave us so many of them and we just kept
Yeah, all the
it was
singers,
good.
all the singers were performing, they didn't want to drink a bunch before they performed. They're like, "Here, you guys can have them." We're like, "Don't threaten me with a good time."
Yeah, that was a very fun day. Just the beautiful Czech countryside. It was a very
Oh,
nice festival. Good
it was.
music,
Yeah.
great music. It was so good actually. I think that was probably the first time we've seen Tommy and Casper perform.
Oh,
Uh
definitely.
so that was so that was really cool. Tommy was basing it up. It was
Basing
real
up,
nice.
dude, the growls through that sound system were
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, Tommy with his growls.
Tommy
Give
with
him
the
a sub
growls.
and give him a subwoofer and he'll make an earthquake. It's
He will
nice.
he will Tim Faust it up out there. Dude, I hope the bass gang, I'm sure we will. I hope we get to, get together again to shoot more videos.
No, definitely. There's so much that we can do. I mean, just there's a lot logistic stuff that we need to sort out, but it's once we kind of get past that hump, we're we're good. Like the
Yeah.
check was so much fun. And cheap.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh my gosh.
I think we had seven or throughout the 2 weeks we were there, we had like 7 or 8 $5 euros that were like this big. And I remember just eating it in the cave for Be Prepared.
Yeah.
We're just in the monk cloaks.
The doner kebab. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah.
They were phenomenal.
They were really good. Yeah. Oh my God. I want to go back just for that. That and that
Yeah.
steak dinner. Oh
Oh,
goodness.
dude. So many great moments. That trip is a major life highlight for me.
Hmm. For yeah, I was looking back at I was posting some videos of it for content on Patreon. But but it was reminding me I forgot so many things that we did there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Casper and all of us just shot so much video. We had so many good moments. And it was definitely a trip to remember. It was incredible. And
Incredible.
here's to more of that.
Yes, we will make that happen. Two things. One, I keep forgetting that there's going to be a full documentary that Casper's making, and I'm
Yes.
so excited. And I keep forgetting, and then you'll say something, or Casper will say he's editing it, and I'm like, oh, that's right. We get to like relive it for a couple hours,
Hmm.
which I'm
And
really excited about.
I feel like it's also like a good amount of time like past the Czech trip because it's probably been almost that was
It'll be
August.
by the time that comes out, it'll be about 6 months.
Yeah. Damn. So
That's
like
perfect.
we've had time to cool down from the trip and obviously some like we're forgetting some moments. So once cast I think we should just have a whole viewing party
We should.
for this thing, get the popcorn, get the 3D
Yes.
glasses, and we're enjoy because I don't know how long it's going to be. I think it's like at least an hour or something.
At
He got
least
so much footage.
at least an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super, super exciting. And then re getting together again. I think two things. I think once Marwan's done with school, that will, I think, make that part of it much easier, getting him able to travel. And then two, by that point, hopefully the bass gang will be, making enough money to where it's just not an issue at all for all of us to get together again. Because it's
Hmm.
doing well now, but providing income for 4 people, 5 people, I guess 6 people with Ryan
Yeah.
involved as well. You got to be really raking it in. We're not quite there yet, but we're on the way.
Hmm. No, it's exciting what the
It's
future holds for
it's really
us.
exciting. I think the projects we're doing for this EP I think green screen will be incredible for them,
Hmm.
especially with our collaborators,
Yes.
which will
I don't
be
think we could have flown them out to check.
could you imagine just a abs that would be an absolute party though.
Oh, imagine everyone
Yeah,
and then the bass gang.
all of us plus all our collaborators for this album, that would be a riot.
Oh boy.
We'd have to rent like a Czech castle for a couple weeks.
Oh, I forgot we almost did that.
We almost did.
That would have been so cool. Tell as old as time vibes.
Yes, exactly. But no, that'd be a party, but we'll have to do that. But anyway, green screens will be great for this year. Um, we'll probably just force Marwan to edit all of them. And and then maybe 2025 we can find a way to reunite.
Mm-hmm. 2025. Here we go. Quarter to the century.
Yes. I
Bass
mean,
gang reunion.
you and I have to find a way to get together much sooner.
Yeah, we're a little closer to each other than
We're a little
to
closer.
them.
Yeah. I wasn't able to pop over to LA when you were just there, but we both do need to go. We need to meet up in Nashville
Mm-hmm. We got
to,
some folks there we
yeah,
want to meet up with.
see Tim and Lauren. And does Avi live in Nashville too?
Yeah,
Tim, Avi, and Lauren. I mean,
that's a
that's
party right there.
that's worth a trip. Maybe we can look into that sometime next summer.
No, please. I would be down. I only been to Nashville once and it was great. Also to see Avi. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was a jolly old time. So to do that again with y'all would be great.
Awesome. I mean, you've been traveling a fair amount to meet up with other creators and stuff. You want to
Yeah.
tell me about your recent trip to LA? Who were you meeting up with, and what were you guys up to?
Yeah, so actually this back crack first. Oh. All
Mason,
the
do
all the
not cut that out. Do not cut that out.
all the bass singing it tenses the back. You got to release the cracks. It's not true, but yeah. So LA, This was, funnily enough, my first trip in a while that was purely vacation. So some of my pitch slap friends, after they graduated Berkeley, they moved to LA. And over the break, some of my friends who are still in the group with me, one of them, Nico, he's from LA, or not from LA, he's from California, so he was back there over winter break. And so his girlfriend Alyssa and I, we flew over to San Diego and chilled in Orange County for like probably 3 or 4 days. And it was beautiful there, had a ton of fun. And then I went back up to LA. That's the place. I went up to LA and I stayed in Burbank for the rest of the time. But it was great just kind of going to a place and not having to work. It was kind of like a treat to myself because like Hoist is doing so well for all of us. Kind of wanted to go, and I did meet up with some creators like Charlie Curtis Beard. I met Stacey Ryan for the first time. That was real cool. Kind of like the TikTok kind of like just saw some TikTok friends, Nina from Citizen Queen, and many more. I met up with Colum.
Yes, that's
we
great.
went on a little bar crawl. One of the last nights I was there. In I think it was actually I forget where it was, but it was very fun. So just actually getting to chat with him because I'd never met him before.
He's a character, man.
Oh, he is indeed. So get a few pints in us, and we were having a good time.
Yeah.
But it's so great. I know you can attest to this. Actually, working with people online for so long and then meeting them in person is so rewarding. It almost feels like you're not meeting for the first time.
Yeah,
like you'll go up to them and it's like, we haven't met before, right? And you just got to check. You got to make sure. But it was a very, very fun trip. Got to see some cool people, meet some friends from online that I haven't before. So what's the complaint? Good food. I am a good sucker for food. So they had some great food over there as well.
Yeah, downtown LA does have some very solid restaurant choices. I'm glad that both our experience with Colum was just meeting up for the first time and just getting drunk and shooting the shit. We went to this whiskey bar after I did this voice competition and just drank nice whiskey until far too late. And just
that's how it goes.
Just two goons drinking whiskey. I was literally in my suit from the performance. Like I went from the performance just straight to the whiskey bar.
That was quite a good first impression for Colum.
Yes.
Colum, I imagine.
Yes, Colum. I wear suits all the time. That's just what I do.
That's just Peter.
That's just Peter. It's just Peter.
But I feel that's what you need when you first meet Colum. Like, got to go on a little pub crawl, get a few drinks. Yeah,
absolutely. Did you see Jay Young while you were out there?
No, I didn't realize he was in LA. I remember
dude, he lives like 20 minutes from Colum.
I remember I was also going to meet up with Jonathan Young, but the boyo got sick, unfortunately. But I didn't know. Next time, I need to hit up Jay Nunn because I was actually in.
Oh no, sorry, Jay Young. So Jonathan, I was saying Jonathan Young.
Oh, I thought you said Jaden. And then I brought up Jonathan Young and said,
"That's so funny. That's so funny."
Jay Young and Jay Nunn, but no, unfortunately, there were I don't know, it was just sickness season because a ton of my friends were sick while I was there, and like last month was kind of like the sick month for me. Like I got a virus and stuff. Everyone was kind of suffering. It was a very year for everyone. So next time I am in LA, yes, Jonathan Young and I are gonna base it up.
Amazing. All right, dude, let's see what people have asked on Discord.
Let's go.
I'll fire those off at you. First one's from Casper, of course.
Oh no.
If you could, would you combine the bass gang and the Wellermen into one super bass group, or do you prefer having those two separated? This is, of course, Casper asking as the manager for both. It would make his job a lot easier.
Fun. Casper and I are both part of the bass gang and the Wellermen, technically, since Casper manages the bass gang. He does a lot of like marketing and like management stuff for Wellerman as well. That would be crazy. I remember we had a we had a call for Santiana. Um, I think it was all of us, like the Wellermen and the Bass Gang. I realized during that because I kept saying 8 of us, and they're like, Bobby, there's 7 of us, and I'm just like dumb. I know there's 4 people in both groups, but I'm in both
Yeah.
groups, so it trips me
Quick
out.
maths. Quick maths.
But no, that would be definitely worlds colliding.
Yeah.
It would definitely make scheduling stuff easier because being in like there's a lot of similarities between the groups.
Hmm.
So I usually get confused about what's for what sometimes.
Hmm.
And so that's where the calendar comes in.
Yeah.
But
Especially now
yes,
that
this year, what's was that? Yeah.
I say, especially now the bass gang's doing, we're kind of experimenting a little more with some shanties this year. So
Mm.
even more overlap between the groups.
Mhm. One way or another, the Wellerman influence gets infected to all the other groups.
That's right.
Yeah, but that would be funny. Yes, we're combining the groups this year. Calling it.
Spoilers.
There we go.
That's what we've been hinting at this whole time.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Weller Gang. That's what it's called now.
the Weller gang. I love it. Okay. This is from Amy. I didn't know this was true. She asks, "Where did you learn to dance so well, and what was it like hanging out with Vinny?"
So the first part of the question, I'm a horrible dancer. I can't dance. I don't know. She might have me mistaken with someone else. And I think that what was the second question again?
How was it hanging out with Vinny?
Oh, amazing. I actually met Vinny for obviously we were like friends on TikTok for a while. They say opposites attract, and if you've heard our voices, then you'll
That is
know why.
exactly, yes.
But I met him like for the first time last year. I think it was before. Actually, no, that was separate. But we recorded Misty Mountains the first time we met, and then we met up again a couple months ago when I was in New York. Because we reposted the Misty Mountains one we did a couple years ago, and it blew up as again. So we're like, what if we make more of these? And so one day that I was in New York, a couple months ago, I went to his place and we literally thought of and made and just banged out three different TikToks. I think it was 2 Christmas ones. There was 12 Days of Christmas and Santa Baby, and then we also did I See Fire. And those we just like recorded all those and filmed those in one day and kind of released them spread out. And then they they did really well, but I See Fire did crazy well. It's almost at like 500,000 likes on Instagram, which is crazy.
Jeez, yeah.
Which is why I don't know when this podcast is coming out, but Vinny and I are making a full cover of I See Fire.
Oh, amazing.
And
That'll be so good.
that was one of the things over the past couple of days that I've been recording, and I've been trying to find like a good morning because I've got to have like strong A's for this song and stuff.
Okay.
So it's just gonna be super thick. So
Awesome. Are you
Vinny and
arranging
I,
it?
yeah. So Vinny and I, we kind of took the guitar track. The beginning of the song is going to be like the TikTok audio that we had, and then it goes into the guitar track, which my friend's going to be playing guitar for it. Shout out to you, Liam. And where he sent kind of the vocals that he recorded as the track, and it kind of like outlined the track and had the progression of the harmony, which is very similar to the original. And I just sat down and was like, okay, what should I do for this part? What should I do for this part? How am I going to stack this? What am I going to add? How am I going to make each of these sections different? Because there's some repetitive parts. And so that was another aspect of the past couple of days. We kind of did our own, for lack of a better term, I guess, arranging of the song, kind of to fit what was best for us as well. So we didn't come together and we're like, okay, this is where we're singing here. This is what we're singing here and here and here. We kind of just did our own thing working with the other person's vocals, if that makes sense.
Nice. Nice. Sounds very organic.
Yes.
Cool. I'm excited to hear that. All right, let's see
Yeah.
what else we got here. Um, oh, this is a great question from Mortius. Um,
Mortius.
does Bobby enjoy his online identity as the sort of default super bass, as someone who gets tagged in countless TikToks to add bass to it, or does part of him wish his online presence was more known for more than just the lower part of your range of his range? Great question.
That is a great question. Especially, well, I started off when I first started singing. It was because I had a low voice and I loved singing bass stuff. So I actually neglected my higher range for a long time, and kind of just stuck with like that low identity even before I became a TikTok singer. Um, like in my college a cappella group, they have this joke where they had this category of people who have sang every voice part for the group. And for my life, I am in the category of only singing one voice part for my entire life. And I'm not complaining. It's very fun. I love bass singing very much. So it's I don't really dislike that Bobby Lovo voice uh title that apparent that I've been given. After all, I did name myself Bobby Bass for my online presence. So I do enjoy singing the low stuff. Definitely. That's my favorite thing to do. But I've been trying to trek into like higher singing as well. And I've tried to like test that out a little bit for I See Fire when I was recording the past couple days. But I've been continuously like as my range has expanded over time, kind of added it into more content that I do because it's also fun. But overall, no, it doesn't bother me to be this big bass identity online. It's something that I love to do, and it's probably my favorite thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a pretty great thing to be known for, I think.
Yeah, I'm not
And
complaining.
and in covers you're getting to show off the skill you develop in your upper range. I mean, a friend like me is such a perfect example of that. God, it's such an absolute banger. I
Mm.
really just want it to skyrocket.
It's definitely my favorite arrangement, and probably in the hardest arrangement I've ever done. But
Yeah.
it was so worth it. I put so much time and effort into it, kind of to push the boundaries of my arranging, especially after being you can kind of tell it was kind of inspired a little bit by like pitch slapped arrangements after singing several dozen arrangements by them over the past couple of years. It's kind of got influenced in my brain, and I just love that style of acapella. Kind of like that, like almost like crunchy, that like very fast moving at some
Hmm.
points, and kind of unique style. There were a lot of unique things in that cover, so I was very
Right up
happy.
to the video shoot. You're working on
Yeah,
it
no,
literally on
literally.
set.
Yeah, I think I was getting I was right before makeup. They were all setting stuff up. I was uh editing and doing a light mix for the demo that we were using to record that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Because I think the day before I still had vocals to record after we
Yeah.
filmed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like main solo vocals, but like the last day I was in the Czech Republic when I was at Casper's, and so I went in like a little boiler closet that he had, set up my mic, and recorded the rest of the tenor one part that I gave myself for some reason. Um, and it was very hot and sweaty, but finally I got it done, and I left that room and I sat down. And I know later I forgot to record one part which I sent to you. I was like, hey, can you
Yeah,
just
that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
But I'm like that with a lot of songs. For those of you who don't know, I am like that with a lot of songs. But yeah.
That is the one of the craziest Disney songs ever made, and probably the craziest arrangement I've ever
Mm,
heard. And it sounds complicated, but it's even more complicated if you look at what the music's doing. I remember over winter break, just for fun, because my buddy George is an absolutely like top deck guitar player in Nashville. And so I pulled up the chords for that song on Ultimate Guitar for him to like try to sight read for us to like sing through it. It is like maybe every chord possible.
yeah.
It is like 30 or 40 different chords as opposed to like three or four like a
It's
normal song.
crazy. Crazy.
Like there's a key change every second. Like I don't even know how you pulled it off, man.
Yeah, I don't either. The whole thing was just a fever dream.
Yeah.
No, it was I mean, the love I had for that song, it is my favorite Disney song. I love that. Colors of the Wind is amazing too, but like Friend Like Me, also Robin Williams, like come on.
Oh my gosh. His voice acting is,
Absolutely killed it.
yeah, he killed it. Killed it.
Yeah. But yeah, love the song.
Cool. All right. One last one from Diamond. I'll pick one of those. She asked a few, but what's your main source of inspiration these days? Could be
Oh
singers or
Lord.
songs or whatever.
That's an interesting question. Because over the years of my singing career, I've had like a lot of like bass singing inspirations. You know, you have your Avi, your Thurl Ravenscroft, your the other like acapella kings and stuff like that, and have been really inspiring to the start of my my bass singing career. But a lot of people don't realize I listen to that's not really those aren't really genres I listen to a lot. Like I usually listen to like hard rock, heavy metal and stuff like that. And so that's kind of what I've been inspired by most recently. I've been trying to learn more extreme vocal techniques, like different kinds of distortion and stuff like that, which is very different than the music that I put out, as you know.
Hmm.
So if I started releasing music that's like that, we'll see how people like it. But it's music that I really enjoy and have found a lot of inspiration in recently. So we'll see where that goes. Like, I guess literally my first vocal inspiration my whole life, even before I started singing, was David Draymond of Disturbed,
Nice.
who has the voice of both an angel and a devil.
Yes.
So it's you could even see that a little bit in my Sound of Silence cover. But that's mostly where I've been like pulling it more recently because I just really enjoy that music.
Have you heard the newest song from them, from Disturbed?
Oh, which one?
Don't Tell Me.
Oh, don't tell the one with Anne.
Yeah.
That's saying it right. Yeah, I remember listening to that album when that came out like a year. Oh, when was
Right. I
it?
guess they just made the video for it, but it's been out for longer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's whenever there's a Disturbed album dropping, I'm into it. But
Dude,
like
it's
recently,
phenomenal.
yeah.
And
Well,
Ann Wilson's
Divisive.
voice is
Yeah.
amazing. It's perfect for that song.
Yeah, it's just I remember listening to that song for the first time. Like I was literally walking down the street just in my neighborhood at night, just listen, don't tell me
Yeah.
now that you hate. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's hitting me right here as I
Yeah.
walk
Yeah.
through the cold.
I
Yeah.
just did I just made an analysis for it that finally the copyright finally cleared, so it's coming out Thursday morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw you also did one for Chop Suey of a system.
Yeah. Just put that out yesterday.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's another group that I've really gotten into recently. Like last summer I went through their entire discography, which was like 5 albums, but they released those 5 albums within the span of less than 10 years, which was kind of crazy. I didn't realize that. And I
Absolutely
just love
insane.
their music. Them, Avenged Sevenfold,
Yeah.
started listening to Korn recently. Just a lot of like new metal vibes kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
That's good
Bobby.
stuff. That's Bobby. All right, man. Any final words to the fans, the supporters
Oh,
before we sign off?
I don't know. So much has happened since that was our first podcast. That was one of the first things I did as Bobby Bass. It was back in my college house back in Lowell, Massachusetts, and just seeing all the things that I've accomplished since then because it hasn't even been it's probably actually been about 3 years since then. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah,
It's
probably
crazy to
a
think
little bit
about.
less even.
Yeah. So it's just seeing what I've done and what like we've done throughout that entire time makes me very hopeful and excited for the future.
Yeah.
So I hope y'all enjoy what's coming.
I have one more request for you.
Yes.
I would love for you to say some form of please like and subscribe and leave a comment in Kermit's voice.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to leave a like and drop a comment below, And don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you, Peter.
All right, we'll sign off and do a little debrief. See you, buddy.
Bye.